Hi, my name is Stephanie Pruitt and I am a poet. I have been writing poetry seriously for about the last 15 years, and I love to find new ways to engage with the literary arts and poetry. Everything from performances and more literary academic readings to more performative kind of spoken word art. There's so many options in Nashville, from youth poets who are working in high schools and after school events and in staging shows on the weekends to all of the universities and college campuses that bring well-renowned known writers to Nashville. There's so many options. And then there are independent bookstores that also have readings in the Nashville Library. Poetry is one of those things that you never quite know what you're going to get. Each poet has a different definition of what a poem is, what a poem should do. So have an open mind when you go to a reading. Many poets tend to focus on certain topics and subjects that are, for whatever reason germane to them and they're really passionate about. So, sometimes I go to a reading and I hear about roller skates or pancakes or shoes. Other times I go and I'm hearing about the Civil War or futuristic, who knows what. The content can vary widely. What's really interesting to me, though, is the craft and the approach that poets take to their writing. Regardless of the subject matter and what they're talking about, what's amazing to me is the way it's being said. Although poems generally are using words, text, it's the approach to the text that can be amazing. Some poems are very image-based, so I'll sit in a reading and close my eyes and I can actually visually see a picture, like a movie taking place, because the writing is so strongly image-based. A lot of poets are using metaphors and similes and making connections to things that I otherwise would not have imagined. So maybe a poet who's talking about remodeling a house somehow makes a connection to, from a home to, their childhood life. And it gives me an aha moment of seeing a connection that I hadn't imagined before. So it's not about just the immediate moment of reading or hearing a poem. It's about where it takes you in your mind. And that's the thing about poetry and art that I love. It takes you to places beyond your immediate moment, your immediate situation, and immediate life. And being open to that process is, I think, what the arts really encourage us to do. They encourage us to explore connections and possibilities that we might not otherwise see. So the thing about poems that I love is that they'll come to me at the most miscellaneous, mundane, and serious times. They're lines that really speak to me in a way that's meaningful and kind of connect the dots of my life. So they're very useful things. Although poems can seem whimsical, and at times they are, they also kind of give me a voice for ideas and possibilities that I haven't otherwise been able to put language around. And so I enjoy poetic language as a way to kind of connect the dots of my life. I also enjoy the fact that, I can find poems about a whole range of things that speak to me on an everyday level, but also take me to new and kind of higher places that I hadn't imagined. So whether I'm going to a reading at a library, on a college campus, at a coffee shop, or just gathering around the house with friends reading poems, there are all these possibilities that kind of open my range of what the world might be. I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day about the legacies that we leave, and immediately I thought of a poem, and there were a couple of lines. This is from a Marilyn Nelson poem called Cover Photograph, and the lines that came to mind were, "I want to be remembered as a voice that was made to be singing." And poems constantly sing in my mind and create these songs that are kind of like a soundtrack for my life. And engaging with the arts and engaging with literature allows me to create that soundtrack and not kind of sing or dance to this prescribed soundtrack that people think my life can be. It allows me to craft the soundtrack. So go out and enjoy some poems.